Let's be real. Victor Wembanyama's rookie season was absolutely historic. It was a non-stop highlight reel of impossible shots, stats that look like typos, and the kind of hype that can make or break a career. But what he turned into in his second year wasn't just an improvement. It's like we watched the creation of a player the NBA has never, ever seen. We aren't just talking about a few more points per game. We're talking about a 7'3" player who somehow fused the footwork of a wing with the defensive mind of a legendary center. And the numbers back it all up. This isn't just growth, it's a full-on mutation. In this video, we're breaking down the film and the hidden stats that show how Wembanyama went from a generational prospect to the league's first true unicorn, a player who shatters every comparison we have. To really get how huge this leap was, we have to rewind to the questions swirling around Wemby when he first stepped on the court. The hype was off the charts, but so were the doubts. Sure, he was called the best prospect since LeBron, a guard in a giant's body, but the league has seen tall guys who can shoot before. It's seen lanky shot blockers. The real question was, could his unique slender frame actually hold up against the nightly grind of the NBA? His rookie season felt like a live experiment to answer that. There were tough nights for sure. You'd see crafty veterans use their strength to body him off his spot. There were games where his jumper just wouldn't fall. You heard the talk from commentators and fans, all pointing to his frame and wondering if he could really be a team's anchor. The problem was never about talent. It was that he was so unprecedented, no one had a blueprint for him. How do you coach a player who can post up, handle the ball, and shoot from deep? But then, bit by bit, he started shutting down the questions. He didn't just survive the physicality, he learned to use his insane length as a weapon. He ended his rookie year with jaw-dropping numbers: 21.4 points, 10.6 rebounds, and a league-leading 3.6 blocks a game. He was the unanimous Rookie of the Year, which is incredible on its own. But even those stats only told part of the story. That was just the baseline, the raw, untamed talent. What we saw in year one was the prototype. The foundation was there, but the masterpiece was still being built. He proved he belonged. The next step was to prove he could dominate in a way nobody ever has. Everyone talks about the jump players make from their first to their second year, but what Wembanyama did was something else entirely. It was like a complete software update, built on everything he learned as a rookie. The stats obviously jumped. He was putting up over 24 points a game with better efficiency before an injury sidelined him for a stretch. But the real story is in the little things you don't see in the box score, the tiny shifts in his mechanics, his decision-making, and his overall feel for the game. Let's start on offense, which became incredibly precise. As a rookie, you could sometimes see the gears turning. He'd often rely on his raw talent to get a shot up, leading to some tough, contested looks. But in his second season, the game just slowed down for him. The biggest change was his footwork. He went from being a tall shooter to a master of creating space. He started using this slick, fluid crossover, a move that a guy his size should not be able to pull off, to get defenders off balance before rising up for his shot. His release point got even higher and more consistent, pushing his three-point percentage up and making his shot basically impossible to block. He even set an NBA record with a 34-game streak of hitting a three-pointer and getting a block, a stat that perfectly captures just how absurd he is on both ends. But he wasn't just living on the perimeter. After getting pushed around a bit in the post as a rookie, he came back with a killer counter, a quick, high-release hook shot. He figured out he doesn't need to be Shaq and overpower guys. He just needs a sliver of space, and his 8-foot wingspan does the rest. He started reading double teams, not as a problem, but as a chance to show off his court vision and find open shooters. He wasn't just a scorer anymore. He was becoming the engine of the Spurs offense. And then there's the defense. Calling him an elite shot blocker is an understatement. It's like calling the ocean wet. He led the league in blocks as a rookie and kept it up. But the change in year two wasn't about how many shots he blocked, but how smart his blocks were. As a rookie, he was an amazing reactive defender, using his length to clean up mistakes. In his sophomore year, he became a proactive defensive general. You could see him directing teammates, pointing out rotations, and putting himself in the right spot 2 steps ahead of the play. Guys driving to the basket didn't just have to worry about getting their shot blocked anymore. They had to deal with a defender who could meet them at the very peak of their jump, a place no one else can reach. This literally changes the math for an offense. Floaters got swatted. High arcing layups got pinned to the glass. The fear he created became a weapon, forcing teams to take bad mid-range shots just to avoid him. He became a one-man defensive system whose impact is felt on every single possession. So, what do you even call this? When you blend the skills of a scoring wing, the footwork of a post-up center, and the brain of a defensive mastermind, what do you get? The answer is nothing. We don't have a category for this. He's his own thing. For decades, we've used comparisons to understand players. Is he a scorer like Kevin Durant? A defensive anchor like Rudy Gobert? A floor spacer like Kristaps Porzingis? With Wembanyama, those comparisons just don't work because he's not an or, he's an and. He has Durant's ability to get a shot from anywhere, combined with Gobert's power to completely wall off the rim. He was the only player this season to average at least 20 points, 10 rebounds, a made 3, and a block per game. That stat line sounds like something you'd create in a video game, but he's doing it for real. This is why his progress is so revolutionary. He didn't just improve, he fused 2 completely different, almost contradictory skill sets into one player. Bigs who protect the rim aren't supposed to be able to lead the fast break and pull up for 3. Wings who can shoot and handle the ball aren't supposed to be able to anchor a defense all by themselves. Wembanyama does both. If you've enjoyed this video so far, consider giving this video a like and subscribe to support this channel so we can provide more NBA content. Now back to the video. We've seen players bend positional roles before, but Wembanyama is just shattering them. He's a new evolutionary branch on the basketball tree. He's the answer to a question we never thought to ask. What if your best offensive player was also your most dominant defensive player? The Wemby effect is real too. It revitalized the Spurs franchise and sent its value soaring. He's not just changing games. He's changing the financial future of his team, and he became the youngest All-Star in Spurs history, putting his name right next to Tim Duncan. This new archetype puts coaches in an impossible spot. Put a smaller guy on him, he'll just shoot over the top. Put a traditional big on him, he'll use his guard skills to blow right past him. There's no right answer. And on defense, he takes away the main goal of every modern offense, getting a shot at the rim. He is the problem and the solution all at once. Look, Victor Wembanyama's jump from year 1 to year 2 wasn't just about getting stronger or smarter. It was about making a theoretical player a reality. He didn't just climb the ladder of NBA superstardom, he built a whole new one. The raw, promising rookie turned into a master of the game who uses his God-given gifts with a basketball IQ that's growing at a scary pace. He has proven that he's not the next anybody. He's the first Victor Wembanyama. His sophomore season gave us a brilliant and frankly terrifying glimpse of what's on the horizon. He's already a player who breaks defensive schemes and makes opposing offenses abandon their entire game plan. He's a walking cheat code who is now the blueprint for a new type of superstar. The rest of the league has been warned. So the question isn't if he'll be great anymore. How will we even define greatness when his career is all said and done? Are we watching the beginning of the greatest two-way player in the history of the game? Has there ever been a player with a crazier combination of skills? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Until next time.